Can I call you Rose? 'Cause you're sweet like a flower in bloom. Can I call you Rose? Can I call you Rose? 'Cause your fragrance takes over the room. Can I call you?
Bonjour and welcome. Today, we're diving into the rich and diverse culture of France. From its people and food to its history and traditions, French culture is a tapestry woven with unique and fascinating threads. Let's embark on this cultural journey together. So to kick off, I really wanted to start with my first experience, which was in Nantes, France. I spent 3 weeks here at the Audencia Business School, and I was able to meet a bunch of different professors, students, and people from several countries around the world, including Brazil, Lebanon, Peru, pretty much any country you can name. There was somebody there representing them. And I think it was a great experience overall because I was able to not only learn from professors and students and kind of connect with them on a more personal level, but I was also able to learn more about the area from the French students who actually attend Audencia and really more about their culture altogether. So to start off, I wanted to really target the food and kind of our experience with the French culture and different dishes and customs. For me, I noticed that baguette and croissants were like the staples of French breakfast, and you kind of could see that at pretty much any store you go into. Croque monsieur was also, it's like a ham and cheese sandwich. And that's just kind of heated up, and it can be served for like lunch, dinner, pretty much any period of time throughout the day. There's also ratatouille, which is a vegetable stew, and that dish also tied into other kind of like braised chicken with like wine, mushrooms, and onions. These kind of dishes, I would say, were the overall kind of standouts to me. And I felt that overall, pretty much any restaurant you would go to, cheese would be on the menu all the time. They have like over 400 varieties of cheese in France, and they produce so many different types. Next up, I wanted to target French people altogether. I separated the kind of overarching elements into 3 categories, which was language, values, and lifestyle. So for language, the official language is French, which is spoken by nearly the entire population. And so there definitely was a little bit of a language barrier, whether it was like ordering food or at restaurants. But I noticed that the French people were very open to any like suggestions or questions we had once they knew what we were discussing and talking about. And I felt that there was a strong emphasis on like secularism, which is ensuring the different separations of power. And so it was great to kind of learn about that within the classroom, but also outside of it. And lastly, to kind of target the lifestyle, I felt that they emphasize more quality over quantity, whether it's like work, leisure, or interactions. They typically have like longer lunch breaks, and they highlight the importance of enjoying meals and socializing rather than like stressing out about work or just being in the office for such long hours. To target the more culturally significant areas within infrastructure and design and history with French, I felt that there was kind of different periods that reflected architectural influence throughout. So a lot of the churches and buildings that we saw and how it was really designed, I felt that was mainly based on the Roman conquest of Gaul, but also the medieval era and how the different rise of power between monarchs kind of constructed the more Gothic cathedrals like the Notre Dame, but also really how the city was built altogether. I also noticed how the French Revolution was definitely a turning point and kind of placed more of that fall of the monarchy, but also kind of different ideas about like democracy, citizenship, human rights, and kind of more of the influence on French society. Lastly is French culture. I found that this can kind of be tied together with different customs they have or just different events that I've noticed. One of the things was having the break between about 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. This is when people go home and spend time with their family and friends. It's really to prioritize quality over quantity. And also just fashion and art played a major role of this, whether it's like Paris being the fashion capital of the world pretty much, hosting like Fashion Week and all the different luxury brands located there. but also just the different renowned artists and kind of like Edward Degas or Claude Monet, just anything you can kind of see within these different art museums. I felt that that was a very big aspect of French culture too, is just seeing all this. And it was very easy to access and really get to know more about. Altogether, French culture is a vibrant mosaic of art, history, tradition, innovation, and all these different aspects really tie into their culture and really the essence of France. Merci, and thank you for joining me on this cultural exploration.